Hi, everyone, and welcome to the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and I'm a bereavement specialist. Hi, Susan, and happy spring to you.
Oh, happy spring. I think yesterday was the first day of spring. I'm so excited to be here with you, Lisa. I'm Susan Capurso, End of Life Doula, Legacy Specialist. And today's topic is really relevant to everyone. And it's a nice topic to talk about. It's talking about, we're talking about gifts to give a friend or loved one after they've lost somebody, right? And this is really important because it's so easy to send a typical flower bouquet.
Mhm.
But then with a little thought, putting a little thought into it, I think that gift giving can be really special.
Mhm.
So, when someone close to you loses a loved one, you want to do something to express your condolences, but you want to communicate that you're grieving right alongside them.
Yes.
And we're not always sure about the perfect way to do this. So we tend to, pull away or be quiet or give them space.
Yeah,
To
don't do
think
that.
of it,
Don't do that.
I know, don't do that.
That's right.
But think of a gift with meaning, something that's close to your heart, but something that would be appreciated and close to their heart as well. Because your gift says a lot. It says that you're there for them, that you're walking alongside them through this overwhelming time. And the gift can be one of many. So it can be practical, right? Like a basket of food, or household items that they won't have to think about replenishing. Your gift can be more elaborate and meaningful, like jewelry, wine, chocolates, a day at the spa,
Let's back up
Well,
first.
no. Let me
Okay.
finish, and then we're going
Okay.
to go into these details.
Okay. Because
Okay. So, and it shows some of these things are going to show that you're putting more thought into what you're giving them. It could also be a more personalized gift so that it honors their loved one who they've lost, the departed one, like personalized blankets or bird feeders because they love to watch the birds outside. But your friend, ultimately go with your gut and what feels right. So today, Lisa and I will let you in on a few meaningful ways to gift a friend or a loved one during this time. So yes, Lisa, now we can back up because I just said the word time, and that will roll us right into our first and foremost gift that Lisa and I are big believers in, the gift of time.
that's right.
Right?
And the real gift of friendship and of meaningful conversation, and making sure that you reach out to that person and saying to them, I've been thinking about you. I really care. There have been so many people who say to me, I don't want to call because I don't know what to say. Maybe I'll say the wrong thing. Well, saying nothing is the worst thing, the absolute worst
Right.
thing.
Right.
And so I think back to when my husband died, and my father died and all, and people brought food because that seems to be like the thing to bring. They bake something, casseroles or whatever, because they want to, express their condolences and also bring you sustenance because it's probably difficult for you to think about cooking or,
Sure.
taking care of yourself. So that's very well intentioned, and that's their gift to you through their caring and through their friendship. And I think that's really important that we all see that you should always reach out to the person. You don't have to ask them how they're feeling. You can just say to them, I'm thinking about you. I care about you. And let them talk. Just let them talk. They may tell you the same story a million times, but let them talk. It's so important. They're working it out. They're trying to figure out how they're going to go on, and they need that. And if they have a safe haven and a safe person to speak to, believe me, that is worth. You can spend money on flowers and chocolates and whatever else, but that doesn't mean what this means. And that is that you're there for them day in and day out.
And we both believe that this is the most important thing, having been in the shoes and walking through these time periods in our lives.
Yes.
Because it is, again, flowers, although easy to pick up the phone and call and order, they wither within 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So
right.
even on that flower note, and I was in the flower business for many years, so I'm not knocking that, but something a little bit more meaningful might be a bonsai tree, something that they can
Rose.
play with and have for a long, long time to come, or any other type of plant,
Yes.
or even giving them time and getting out there and helping
Yes.
them build a little garden, or in pots, right? Some bulbs or some plants, or setting up flowers now that the season's coming, planting some flowers. And that gift is more meaningful than ever, because you know what? If they're just going through this time now, or a few months ago or whatever, they're not thinking of flowers, and they don't, that's the last thing on their minds.
Yes.
And they won't
Yes.
get out there and do the planting, and you
That's
don't
right.
have the energy and the strength in your mind to do that. So by
Yeah.
you taking the initiative, bringing over a couple flats and, sitting with them and planting, and let them sit and watch you,
Yes.
if
Yes.
that's the case.
Talking
I
about
also wanna-
personal,
Yeah, I wanted to touch back on the food you mentioned, because food is comforting, and I think that was an old time tradition. People would more bring a lot of food back way in the day, when people were bakers and made all these kinds of nice dishes. But something that's really thoughtful, instead of just bringing, a pan of pasta or lasagna or whatever. Think about how many are they by themselves? Do they live with one other person? Is it a big family? But for people that I think live alone, or maybe with one other person in the house, go and invest $20 at Target and get yourself a 20-piece, what's the word?
food storage containers and stuff.
Storage
Yes.
container.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get yourself a 20, 30-piece storage containers and go home and make a few of these meals, right? You're used to it, you like to cook.
Great idea.
And then separate them into containers and
Yeah.
label them.
Yeah.
And freeze them yourself and bring them there frozen, and say, hey, now we're going to stock you up and you'll be set for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great idea. That's a great
Isn't that
idea.
a great gift?
It is. That's a great gift. Yeah. It makes it so, that's the idea. We want to make it easy for people. We want to make their life a little simpler when they're going through such difficult times.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've come up with a
Nice.
few things,
Nice.
that we can share. Go ahead. You were going to.
I want to talk about the personalized thing. The one thing that I got from my cousin was a beautiful pillow that she made with my husband's picture on it, and his, birth date and death date and stuff. And here's the thing. I took this pillow and I took it everywhere. It went in the car with me. If I visited somebody, it went with me. If I stayed overnight, I brought it in. I mean, you know what?
It
That was
comforted
my
you.
comfort. And, there was this picture on the pillow. So it was.
And
a
some may
beautiful
call that a
gift.
little crazy, Lisa.
I'm
not.
sure they would, but you know
I'm
what?
not.
It doesn't
But it did
matter.
it for you. That's right.
Right. That's right. It doesn't matter. And that's what I think people need to know, that everybody grieves differently. Everybody is going to express things differently. Even if they seem like they're okay, they may not be so okay. And
Right.
okay is a relative term, and we need to get to people where they are. So, and we don't judge anybody and ask, well, it's been this, aren't you doing this? Or we don't do that ever, ever. You've got people who, kids who get angry at their parents because they decide to go out and date or something. That is so unfair. Just really unfair. They have no clue how lonely somebody is or how they feel about losing that person. They have no idea. And yet they're going to judge them, So, yeah.
So another thing I thought of, and this, depending on the person, again, your person, but look online or go into a Borders bookstore or any number of bookstores. And I have two suggestions for this. One is to buy a beautiful journal.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
beautiful journals, they do cost a little more money than a journal you could pick up
Sure.
in Walmart, right?
Sure.
But they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're paying for quality.
Yes.
And they're hardcover, and it feels good in your hands. Okay.
That's
It's
special.
not a typical soft cover journal, right? And box it, put an inscription in it maybe, and box it and bring it to them as a gift.
Yeah.
You know, not
Yeah.
just in a paper bag, and tell them that this is something that they can work on slowly and travel their new journey moving forward and get their feelings out and vent. And, you know, nobody will be looking at their journal. This is just for them, and it's a personal gift. And journaling is very therapeutic.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that's a good gift. And another one while you're in the bookstore, okay, and I love this idea. So if you know your person, you know what kind of books they like to read. All right. One person loves fluffy love stories. One person loves all nonfiction, books on healing, or, you know, being successful, or just being a better person in general. You know, I have certain authors that I've read over the years, and those are the only kind of books I read. And I'd hope that I would know that a lot of my friends know that about me. And pick a few up. You know, I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 books, and make yourself a little book basket. You know, a package of shredding in the bottom of a basket with a few books and some clear wrap and a bow. That's
Pretty.
a thoughtful gift.
Pretty. Pretty.
You know,
Yes.
I in the flower business, I used to make gift baskets, themed gift baskets for people, and I'd always give them a myriad of, you know, suggestions. And you can do this now. You can bring a basket filled with practical things, you know, for the house, including toilet paper and paper towels and paper plates and things that they're not going to easily have on hand, but don't want to go shopping right now. It could be a few bottles of wine with some pretty wine glasses in it. It could be a basket of teas. Okay, pick out different teas from the grocery store. They're $3 a box. You know, but get 10 boxes of teas and wrap those up. Easy to wrap up. Don't think that gift baskets are for the gift basket professional.
Right. Right.
Anybody can do it. Put a little thought into it, and you can just wrap it and bow it, and it's more personal coming from you. Coffees, right? If they're a chocolate lover, we'll find some really nice chocolates, different kinds of chocolates. A spa basket's really nice.
Yeah.
Because anything feel good or nurture me or touch me, or, you know, sugar scrubs and bath bombs, and they have the bath mitts that you can wash with, or the bath brush, the body brushes. That basket is really nice, but yet thoughtful, because it's not like you're just giving them a bouquet of flowers, but they'll be like, wow, you were really thinking of my feelings right now and how I need to be comforted.
Yeah,
And
along the
that's
same
personal.
lines. Yeah, along the same lines. Those are really lovely. But my children gave me a spa day. It was actually 10 days after my husband died that my birthday was. And I really couldn't figure out what was going to happen on my birthday. I hadn't even thought of it. And they gave me a full day. And I went sort of because they wanted me to, whatever. But it was really lovely. Just some people taking care of me all day. It was really special.
Well,
It's
we've
lovely.
talked about that in many videos, the power of touch. And you have your percentage of people that don't want to be
I know.
touched.
I know.
They don't like that. But if you know this particular person has liked massages in the past, then you know they like to be touched. And
Yes.
there's many relaxation foot spas around now, many nail, many
Yeah.
many
Yeah. Manny Penny. Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
My place, you know, they come up and they say, oh, 10 minutes, you know, and they do, and then you could sit in the chair where you put your face in, and they do the chair thing.
Yes.
And I gotta tell you, I can't even tell you how many mani-pedis I went and got, you know, purposely, because I was being touched, and it was so comforting and feel good.
Yeah.
So if the person, you know, likes that kind of thing, whoa, that's huge,
Yes.
because it will make them feel good.
Yes. And going out, taking them out to a special place that they love, they haven't been to in a really long time. You know, things that really mean something to them, even an arboretum, and walking around in the park, and, you know, the flowers and stuff, things that
garden.
they enjoy. You spend time
Places in
figuring out.
nature like that show beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even for a walk on the beach.
Yeah.
You know, I want to take you for a walk on the beach. I know you don't want to go out of the house,
Yeah,
but it's
right.
going to be 80 degrees on Saturday, and I'm picking you up, and
Right.
I'll bring us a small lunch, and we'll eat in the car, we'll take a walk on the beach.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
simple things that they'll never forget that you did that for them.
that's right. That's right. And even if they don't seem too enthusiastic at the time,
That's
we need to
right.
just remember that, this is our way of showing them that we care and that we're thinking about them. So they may not embrace everything. Don't think
In the
about what
moment.
the response is.
Right.
Think about the fact that you've done something that shows that you're there for them.
That's right. And they maybe won't embrace it in the moment. They may feel like, I don't even want to be out. What are you
Yeah.
doing? What am I
Yeah.
doing here?
That's right.
But then when they go home, and think on this the next day or later on or the next week, they're going to be like, wow, that made me feel good. And that was so sweet of her to get me out like that and to get me out
Yes.
of my own head and my own space.
And it's
Right?
scary. It's scary going out. It's scary doing all kinds of new things. You feel like the world is like a different place. And so you just have to give them the time, which we mentioned from the very beginning,
Mhm.
to sort things and to, move on to a new life. This is big. Loss is huge, no matter who it was. And so the world feels different. I remember saying, I can't believe that the trees are still green and the sky is still blue. That's really how I felt.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
it's overwhelming and it touches you in your heart. That's the heartbroken. I mean, you feel it in your heart. And so everybody has to be really patient and really understanding and think only about the giving part and not about what they get back, because you don't know the impact that you have on somebody and the gifts of time or the gifts of going out or whatever you bring, whatever, of yourself.
And
They're not going to be able to express that.
you know what I just thought of as you were
Right.
speaking, Lisa?
Right.
That we feel like we're the only one,
Mm-hmm.
right? That this is happening to, the heaviness,
Yeah.
the weight of the situation, the fog, that I'm never going to get out of this, nor
Yes.
do I want to get out of this. I don't know how, but I don't care. And I want my life to be over too. I mean, there are drastic thoughts that people can have,
Sure.
but I really want to tell the world, I want to shake the world, Lisa. Shake
That you're
them.
not alone. You're not alone.
No, I want, not that you're not alone, to shake them and say, but do you know every single human being on this planet will go through that at one time or another. Unless you go through life alone and have no friends and no family, well, maybe that you're the rare small percentage.
Mhm.
But otherwise, everybody's going to go through this. So it is a challenge. It is a milestone. We're all going to travel through this time.
Right.
And I
Right.
think knowing that as the person who's grieving, knowing that I will be okay. I need to grieve and I need to be
Mhm.
gentle with myself and I
Yeah.
need to get through this.
Yeah.
But I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing
So many
this,
people are so afraid. They break down and then they say, how am I ever going to recover? Well, that's the process. They don't understand. That's the
they
process.
have to go through the
That's
process.
right.
Right.
That's right. And when they don't, by the way, I've seen anger. I've seen withdrawal. I've seen lack of communication and the relationships that they have around them fail. So there's consequences for deciding, oh, well, I'm not going to deal with this, or I don't have to deal with this, or I'm fine. I mean, people have described for me that things have changed all around them because they have not embraced and accepted, their own loss, their own feelings.
Death
Feelings are not
is a
right
part
or
of life.
that's
Death is
right.
a part.
That's
Yeah.
right. And feelings are not right or wrong, and you're not going to fall apart and you're going to be okay. And a rabbi once said to me that those tears demonstrate the love that we had for somebody. What if we didn't cry? Does that mean we didn't love them? We didn't care about them? I mean, what was their relationship with us? What was their meaning to us?
Right.
We should be happy. I mean, you should be sad. You should grieve. And we all grieve differently, but it's okay. It's okay.
But also, Lisa, think about this. I think after you've been through a few tragedies and a few deaths in your life, I think that you know this a little bit better.
Yeah.
and you understand it a little bit more. The pain is still there, but you understand that, ooh, I had that pain before and it did lighten up over time. And you know, because you've been educated and you're a little smarter in death and dying, right? But I
Yeah.
think the first instance, like the first instance was my husband.
Wow. You were
Then I
so
had
lucky that that was the first
13 more
instance.
after that.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, when it's a first,
Yeah.
you feel like, oh no, you know, the whole world is going to crumble and I just want to die. It, you know, it's harder because you don't know. That's what I'm kind of gathering from my own experience, right?
I want to add that I think that every relationship, since it could be a parent or it could be a child or it could be a sibling or it could be a spouse or whatever, every relationship also has different feelings with it. So there might be guilt or there might be residual anger or there might be other things that now determine how you grieve. But the friend, whoever that is, or the person who loves you, just needs to accept where you are and help you through this and help you get through the process. And I think that's what's important. So yes, listen, most firsts for people are when they're maybe teenagers and their grandmother dies or grandfather dies. That's usually their first. Okay. And then comes, other significant people in their lives.
Right.
So they've already had that, occurrence. But I do think that also different stages in our lives. What we feel when we're a child or a teenager is different from being a young adult or, an older adult.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Where our
Hey,
lives are.
let's steer back to the
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Back to the gifts.
So I know we can go so many different ways in
We
our
can.
conversations, Lisa,
Yeah,
right?
we can. A
Another
gift.
thing yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking about, even an overnight, if they were ready for something like that. I think
Oh, that's nice.
that's pretty nice.
That's nice. And that's great, because getting the person out of their space, that they're looking at the same four walls day in and day out and being in the environment maybe where that person was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
When you get them out in nature or take them somewhere, across the city or to spend an overnight.
Yeah.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Now, what the
It's
person
an
has to
escape.
know is that they might be scared because we're taking them out of their secure space. Okay.
Right.
So just gentle stuff, understanding and gentle. It's going to feel uncomfortable for the person. Might be their first time really out after, and then again, an overnight, which is really a nice thing to do. Really nice. So you just have to listen to that person and guide them and be there for them and help them get through.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I thought of another gift too that doesn't cost a dime. Okay. So to sit with some pretty paper or just a notebook if you have it, and to write a love letter of sorts. But a love letter that has nothing to do with you except for the way that you saw their relationship. So if it's a person, if it's a spouse, well, that's an easy one. If it's a person with their parent, lost their mom, or write your story as if, as you're talking about them with their mom and the things that you've seen through the years and the memories that you have of the relationship that they had together, or the things that they did together, or the things you told me about, that hang on to this, hang on to that, because, your memories of them, whether they're a couple, a spouse, a child, whatever, your memories of them are different.
Yes.
Than their own memories.
Yes.
Right? They have their own memories. They might never think of the different memories that you have in their life.
Yes.
That through that time. I mean, through their whole lives.
Sure.
Not to sound confusing, but
Sure.
sit down. All right. So just sit as a spouse and sit down and write a letter, and let the letter be 4 pages. Let it be 5 pages. The more meaty this letter is, the more treasure it will become. And will sit in their drawer, and they'll review it over and over again. And it'll bring tears to their eyes, but tears of comfort to know that you saw the strength and the bonding and the love that they shared between them. And never forget that party when he grabbed you and twirled you around on the dance floor and everybody clapped. Silly things like that,
Yeah.
that they won't be thinking about.
Yeah.
And this will become a treasure.
That's
Right?
beautiful. That's
And
beautiful.
that's not costing a dime.
That's right.
Except for your
And
time and memories.
yes.
And spend time with it. Don't feel rushed that I need to get it done because I'll see them on Friday.
Yeah.
You know, spend time coming up with the memories in your own mind.
Mm-hmm. And talking about memories, I really like when people share pictures. I mean, I have 151 albums, and that's like not nearly of what I have, and videos and stuff. And please allow them to share that with you, or encourage them to look at those things again. You know, sometimes it's hard, but you
So
know,
hard.
if you embrace,
So hard. I take the fifth.
you know me, it's what I love. It
I'm
really
still working on the movies. The whole movies. Still working on that.
Yeah, yeah. But
You know, then there's things like, all right, let's take this a little bit lighter again. Okay.
Okay.
Bird feeders. Birds are nature. Birds are pretty to watch. Not
That's a
everybody
pretty
likes
present.
birds. I was
Pretty
never a
present.
big bird person,
Me
but
neither.
then when I can watch a bird really eating something or doing something, it is beautiful. And you think that, wow, this is God's world. We are God's gift. How can they survive, you know, on just what they find in the world? And it's incredible and it's magical.
Yeah.
So something like that is nice. Also big is wind chimes.
Yes. Yes.
But I have to be picky about my wind chimes because wind chimes sound so differently.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
do. They're heavier and longer, thinner and lightweight, cheaper, more expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and you got to find just the right one. And if
Yeah.
you hang that outside their back door, somewhere in the trees, that's going to be maybe a sound that, oh, you know, they think of that person when they hear the wind chimes, you know, and it's a nice connection.
Yeah, it is. That's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did want to say, and I didn't get to pull it up before this video. I wanted to, though. There are many jewelry sites for memorial gifts. You know, you search them out, you'll find them easily. Memorial jewelry, just put it in Google search. But there are beautiful pieces, you know, meaningful pieces, connecting pieces, you know, that means a connection between you and the person, or things that you can engrave, you know, and put some words on or the date on. I've looked and seen many sites. I just can't think of the name of one offhand, but they're really easy to find, and search through them. And maybe a piece of jewelry would be something that resonates, you know. And also, I think I mentioned in the last video, the one before, about Christmas ornaments.
yeah, yeah, but I've seen some really lovely ones. I got a snowflake with his name on it and put date and stuff. But that's a really nice gift. Really nice.
And I've received a couple from family members. I even bought myself one. I think I was telling you about the Irish prayer because of St. Patrick's Day, and I saw it in a little Irish store. But I got a couple, like an angel that had a little phrase, you know, about the person in heaven or whatever. And that's really special and meaningful because that comes out every year, and it's really heartwarming just to take it out and put it on the tree.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
that's really nice.
Those little things.
Yeah.
Well, what else, Lisa? What else? I think we covered a lot here.
I think we covered a lot. I just want people to understand, just don't withdraw from the person, even if they withdraw from you. You just keep reaching out to them and make sure that they're part of you and part of your life, because it's so simple and so easy to just sort of let it go because they're letting it go. But they need you. They need you. And even though they can't say that, they really do need your love and your caring and your presence. They do. So
even if it's to call it, call
Oh, yeah, the
once a
call should
week
be,
and check in.
consistent. Yes, yes.
Right? Send a little card, once every couple weeks. Put a card in the mail. That's nice to open and refreshing that you're handwriting a card, that you're thinking of them, and call me and what can we do? And, but they might not call and they
They
might not
might.
want to do
That's right.
anything. So
That's
you
right.
have to be the aggressor
That's
when
right.
it comes to helping them not get out of their shell. That's, I wouldn't word it like that,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, to help
Yes.
them feel a little lighter and
Yeah.
to feel a little more sunshine in their life, whether it's in the house or outside of the house, but to feel that sense of well-being.
Yes. And just know those dates. Know the dates, because when a birthday's coming up or when an anniversary is coming up, or, important dates, you need to know some of that so that you can reach out to them. I sent you a card and it was
Yes,
just
you
a
did.
small thing, but it
But do
was,
you know, Lisa, it was a St. Patrick's Day
yes,
with
it
a little
was.
meaningful sentence in it, and it's still here on my table. And it was the only card I got. The only card I got, and that is really special for me, because anybody who's come in has looked at it, and it's really important. The acknowledgement is really important.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So again, we have a lot of good ideas, and I'm sure people can come up with others because they know the people and hopefully care about them deeply. Just don't go silent. That's all we can say. Don't go radio silent, because that would be the worst thing for somebody, to feel that they're completely abandoned and completely alone. So,
So lastly, I have one more thing.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I think the website is above my head, right?
It is.
eastondoulacare.com.
It
Yes.
is. Yeah.
So over the last few years, I've wanted to launch a gift item that you can give a person who in your life who's grieving, something special, something using the tools that I've used to help me through my journey. Tools like meditation and visualization and deep breathing. So I've taken all of that and weaved it into a recipe, and I came up with a little rock garden. And my bowl's called the Healing Garden. And there's a page on my website, so you can go onto there and look at the Healing Garden bowl. And I've come up with actually 4 themes now, and I'm going to stop at this for a little while. But one's for grieving, if you have a friend or loved one who's grieving. Another one's for pet loss. Another one's for a person with cancer. You don't always know what to say. And lastly is spirituality, because sometimes people really go through rough times in their lives and feel a little lost and want a little more spirituality in their life. So it's mainly scriptures. It's a toss up between scriptures and nice inspirational phrases on there. And it's a tool that the bowl will sit on your coffee table, and once in the morning, you'll take out one stone, you'll read it, you'll reflect on it, you'll review on how it makes sense to you in your life. And then you'd put the stone on the counter for the day and do it again at night. But you just sit for 5 minutes and breathe and just be and be still and reflect on the little phrase. And I've done it all myself, the phrases and the engraving on the stone, and it's just beautiful. There's 10, 12 stones in a bowl, and it's up there for you to review and take a look at. So yes, I have a great gift to give.
That is a great gift.
When somebody's giving.
Yes. Do you have that
Grieving,
background?
not giving, grieving.
Do you have that background to show the background of it? The background that you had before. Can you pull
Do
that
you want
up?
me to do that real quick?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's lovely. And you're such a creative person.
I did a symposium this past weekend, and I needed a little bit different of a background
Lovely.
about the bowl.
Mhm.
So it's just simple, but it's a therapeutic comfort and healing tool that is a nice gift to give when you don't know what to give.
Lovely.
So,
Beautiful.
So Lisa,
Nice.
tell us about your books and some of your services.
Sure. So I am a bereavement specialist. I understand bereavement and I help people through the process, whatever time frame they need. And I help them move on. That's really important because the people we love would want us to live our lives. And that's the truth. So I also have done 2 books for pancreatic cancer, which is what my husband died of. And the money goes to the Lustgarten Foundation. You can, email me and we can talk about it and all. I do have a website for the book. I actually have 2 books. One was about the disease itself. Lots of stories, by the way. And then this one is about moving on with 12 more families. So www.familiesmoveon.com. And you, in your spare time, in addition to the Healing Garden.
Well, you can find out all that information on eastenddoulacare.com. So I do consulting as you do, and a little bit of everything, but that information's all on the website. But I want to thank you, Lisa. This was really informative and educational today, and I hope in some small way we've helped people to discover their own little gift. And
Yeah.
again, our favorite was the time.
Yes. And
Right.
please subscribe so that you get our notifications of each of the
Yes.
videos that we do every week. We have like 45 on now. Lots of
Yeah.
different topics. Take the topic that resonates with you or send it to somebody who you know might benefit from that.
And share it
share
absolutely
it.
with them
Yep.
for
So
when they may need it most.
that's
Absolutely.
right.
So
That's
thank you
right.
for coming today, Lisa, and
Thank you,
we will
Susan.
see each other next week.
We will. Same time, same place. Bye.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye.